As stated in our definition, to find the domain of a rational function, what we care about is where the denominator is 0. Our domain is all real numbers except for the values of x that make our denominator 0. So, in this first example, we have the rational function f of x equals x squared minus 9 divided by x minus 3. Let's set the denominator equal to 0, so x minus 3 equals 0, and that shows us that x is equal to 3. So our domain is every x value in the real numbers such that x is not equal to 3. So we can write this as in interval notation, minus infinity to 3, not including 3 with parenthesis, unioned with the interval parentheses 3 comma infinity. Let's actually go ahead and do this. X is not equal to 3 is the other way to write that. Our second example, find the domain of the rational function g of x equals x divided by x squared minus 25. Again, we will set the denominator equal to 0, so x squared minus 25 equals 0. Well, this actually is a quadratic that can be factored as x plus 5 multiplied by x minus 5. So we can set each of those factors, x plus 5 equals 0, and then also we can set the second factor, x minus 5, equal to 0, to find that x equals minus 5 and x equals positive 5. Now, as I did in the last question, we really don't want this to happen. We don't want these to be 0. So x cannot be negative 5 or positive 5. In interval notation, this would be minus infinity, comma, negative 5, parentheses, union, parentheses, minus 5, comma, 5, close parentheses, union with 5, comma, infinity. Because all real numbers except for those two numbers. If you notice, every number is included in this except for minus 5. It's not included in either interval, and neither is 5. Now let's look at our last example for this. Find the domain of the rational function h of x equals x plus 5 as a numerator divided by x squared plus 25 as our denominator. We only care what happens in the denominator, so I will set x squared plus 25 equal to 0. This does not factor, but we could actually solve this. Okay, subtracting 25 from both sides, we can see that we have x squared equals minus 25, and taking the square root, we have x equals plus or minus 5i. Now, we're only concerned with real numbers, so this does not affect our domain. So all of this doesn't matter because x squared plus 25 will never be 0. That means our domain is minus infinity to positive infinity, all real numbers.